The treasure in the treehouse. Tommy was a small boy with a big list of complaints. At 8 years old, he was convinced the universe was out to get him. If his toast was too crunchy, he'd grumble. If it rained, he'd sigh loudly. Even when he had the nicest toys, he'd still find something wrong. His bike wasn't the newest model. Why can't I have what everyone else has? He often whined. One summer afternoon, Tommy stomped out to the backyard treehouse his dad had built. It wasn't as fancy as the ones in the magazines. No painted walls, no secret trapdoor, just wooden planks and a view of the neighborhood. "This is so boring," Tommy grumbled, flopping onto the floor. From the corner of his eye, he noticed something sticking out of a crack in the wall. Curious, he tugged at it and pulled out a dusty shoebox. Inside were photos of his dad as a little boy. There were black and white pictures of a much younger version of his dad sitting on the same treehouse floor, grinning widely. Underneath the photos was a small journal. Tommy opened it and began to read. "Today, Dad said we're lucky to have this treehouse. We worked all weekend on it together. I can't believe I have my very own space. I'm the happiest kid alive." Tommy blinked. Dad? Happiest kid alive, for this old treehouse. He flipped through more pages. There were stories of his dad sharing sandwiches with his siblings because there wasn't enough food for everyone. Stories of making toys out of sticks and scraps because they couldn't afford new ones. And yet, every entry was filled with words like grateful and lucky. Suddenly, Tommy felt a pang of guilt. His dad hadn't grown up with shiny bikes or fancy snacks, but he had been happy. And here Tommy was, surrounded by toys, books, and a loving family, yet he spent most of his days complaining. That evening, Tommy approached his dad, holding the journal. "Dad, can we add something to the treehouse? Like a secret trapdoor or maybe some paint?" His dad smiled, surprised. "Sure, buddy. What brought this on?" Tommy shrugged, then grinned. "I just realized, this treehouse is pretty cool. And I think it deserves some upgrades, together." From that day forward, Tommy began noticing all the little treasures in his life, a warm meal, a hand-me-down bike that still raced perfectly, and the joy of building something with his dad. For the first time, he felt something he hadn't understood before, gratitude. And somehow, the world seemed a lot brighter.